There we are. Okay, we are up and rolling. Hello, everybody. So, you know how this goes on Tuesday nights. We're a couple of minutes early. Technology was kind to us today. And so that gives us a couple of minutes to share. Welcome to our Real Women Facebook Live chat. We'll be with you for a good 35 minutes where you have the opportunity to get a sneak peek into a real conversation with some real women. So if you wouldn't mind, start sharing. Go ahead. I'm on my personal page right now, but I'm going to start sharing on all of my other pages. And I would love for you to do the same thing, to let somebody know that we're on, because we are about to have an amazing conversation. I'm so looking forward to having this chat with this powerhouse in this room right now with us. And so you don't want to miss it. If you're a lover of gospel music, if you're a lover of the performing arts, if you are a lover of Black girl magic, then you want to make sure that you are sharing this out tonight. I'm going to look for your hellos in a second as soon as I finish sharing. So please say hello to me. Let me know that you're here with us. I would love to be able to shout you out and say hello, or just wave at you. Please make sure that you say hello while you're sharing. I'm almost there. I'm doing real good. I'm flowing with technology today, y'all. It's working on my behalf today. So if you wouldn't mind sharing, let someone know that we're on and we are about to have a phenomenal conversation. It's a new year. It's time for us to really dig in. In fact, wait a minute, this is our first Tuesday of the new year, having our Facebook Live. So we are ready to roll. I've done all my sharing and it is 8 o'clock. So let me see who's on. Hello. I see their good there we go. Hey, Monique. Hey, Naima. I see so many folks. Thank you all for coming on in. Come on in, keep coming in and keep sharing. Let someone know that we are on. My name is Dr. Trenace Richardson, and I am the CEO and founder of Real Women, where we exist to create safe spaces for women to do personal development work on themselves. We do this through monthly sister circles. We host in-person sister circles in the DC, Maryland, Northern Virginia, and Hampton, Virginia area. Right now, every one of those circles meets on a monthly basis. And so you'll be able to, almost any Saturday of the month, you will be able to find a Real Women Circle in operation physically in that area. That's where we're based. Our goal is to host sister circles across the country and abroad. So if you are interested in helping us establish a sister circle in your area, go to realwomenrock.org, realwomenrock.org, and go to the Work With Us page to become a connector. We would love to come to your area and start a conversation with you about what that looks like. If you are not in that area, we also host virtual sister circles. So you can meet with all of us who are real women in our all access membership virtually every single month. We host community circles virtually, as well as we stay connected throughout the month through closed Facebook groups. We also stay connected by email. We host special events in different areas. We host our annual intensive, and you get a discount to be a part of that. And we host membership discounts for businesses, and we're connected with businesses and partners that give our members special discounts. So there are tons of reasons to become an all-access member. Go to realwomenrock.org in order to find out more information about that. Hey there, hey Mo, hey Raquel, hi Robin, come on in. I cannot wait to introduce our special guest to you tonight. Give you just a couple of more seconds to share this with someone. Let someone know that we're on, because I have to say Thank you to everyone who came out to our Purpose Pushers book anthology launch. This past Saturday, we had literally standing room only at the Amani Event Center when we released our book anthology called Purpose Pushers. And if you are interested in more information about the book, or if you are interested in our Now What workshop, we want you to go to my page, TrenaceRichardson.com. Again, TrenaceRichardson.com, and you can get more information about the book as well as the workshop that's coming up this Sunday. Okay, hey there. I see all of you all are in now. I get to introduce someone that I am so proud to say I know now. And so I'm just really appreciative of those of us who have established and decided that we're going to utilize our creative side. I've been a teacher, an educator for English and world religions and humanities. And so I know what it's like to just teach. I know what it's like to just work in an office. I know what it's like to have a business and have to be very corporate minded about things. But sometimes you just want to sing. Even folks that don't want to sing, just want to sing. Just want to be, to tap into that creative, intuitive side of us. And so this businesswoman, this leader, is tapping into that creative side of her and helping others do the same. And I am so pleased to have her with us. And so let somebody know that we have Michele Fowlin with us, and I am so pleased to have her here. And I would love, Michele, if you would not mind to say hello to everyone, and in your own words, you would do it best. I can say you are the artistic director of the Children of the Gospel of at the Washington Performing Arts Center, but I want you to share with us the work that you do and anything personal you want to share about yourself. Thank you for being here.
First, thank you, Doc. I appreciate it. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I love this. What a great platform you have created. So often, women, we have a tendency to be those people who, as soon as one comes inside the room, we're ready to judge and critique and to bring down and to sometimes even ostracize. But you are creating platforms for us to reconnect, to rekindle, to re-engage, and figure out the beauty of who we are. And one of the things that I love about what the Creator has given me is this gift of music. And so I am an educator, I am a performer, I am the artistic director, I direct gospel, I sing classically, I play classically, I do workshops about the health of the voice and what we need to do to continue to prosper vocally and prosper in our gifts, because God don't give it to us by mistake. And I said it just like that, because I think our listeners understand it just like that. And I'm a mother, and I'm a friend and an auntie, and I'm just a creative being trying to do what the Creator has placed me here to do.
That is so beautifully put. I love how you situated all of that, because I believe that we are all called to be here doing what we love. Yeah. I think God has given us some love, some things that are easy for us. I know that there's some things we must do, and there's some seasons that we just gotta do what we gotta do. But I believe that in all of us, there lies something that we love to do, something that we are drawn toward. And it oozes from you. I can hear that you are in your element, that you get to, you don't just do music, but you are music. I can hear that in you.
So. It's life embracing. When we follow our purpose, I firmly believe this. And I know it's because I had parental support that, when I was young, when I was 4, and my parents just pushed. They saw it in me and they pushed, and they didn't care, and they gave the backing and was like, you can do this. And as a matter of fact, I think they believed more in me than I believed in myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that in itself, when we're pursuing our purpose,
Mm-hmm.
everything else aligns itself.
Mm.
Like, it's not difficult. It doesn't become, you become all of what it is you
Mm-hmm.
love to do. You embrace it all the more. So the thing that you hit with, when it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
it's still easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
more on, but I embrace the challenge of it because I don't mind it. Unlike if I were to be working, a 9 to 5 behind somebody's desk, and that's
Yeah. Yeah, I see you. And we have to know ourselves, right? We have to know I'm not going to function. I'm not going to thrive. Some people survive like that, but I believe wholeheartedly that we are here to thrive and not just exist. And so I love that you know that about yourself. And it sounds like you were pushed early and you pursued consistently what you love to do. And I love this conversation already. We are digging deep already, but I want to make sure that those of you who are with us don't lose this part of the conversation where you are involved, because you get the opportunity to learn more about this amazing woman, and just her love of the arts hopefully will be contagious through the airwaves and translate into you loving them by the end of this conversation. But in addition to that, whatever your passion is, whatever your purpose is, whatever is easy for you that you love to do, we hope that this conversation inspires you to pursue it as well. So before I ask Michele my next question, I'd love for you all to put in the chat, what is it that you love to do? What's your passion? What do you feel like your purpose is? What's easy for you? It might be something as simple but as nuanced as cooking, like because I'm not the one. I'm not the one, but somebody is blessed in that area so much so that people will pay you to do it for them, because it's easy for you, and you're passionate about it, and it comes through in how you do it. So anything from what you do professionally to what you love to do personally, put those in the chat so we can see it, because there's something you're supposed to be doing with that. Maybe it's your relaxation, maybe it's something you're supposed to be doing for profit, but whatever it looks like, don't lose it with it while you're living here on this earth. And Michele, you already, while we're waiting for some of those to come in, you've already started touching on some of how you were raised and you were exposed and supported and lifted up in your youth as it relates to your career. Could you kind of go into now what led you? How did you decide to pursue classical music? How did you decide to pursue music in general? And then what led you to your directorship?
I tell you the truth, I honestly did not have a decision.
Wow.
Just was.
Mm.
I remember I was 4. And if there's anything, my brother is one who'll tell you, like, my memory is the worst. I need more ginkgo biloba. But I seriously remember being at my parents' friend's home, and they had this small toy piano, and she was playing a Bach fugue in the background.
Ooh.
And I sat down at the piano, and I just started to figure out all of what I was hearing going on that recording. And after that, my parents were like, "Do you want a piano?" I said, "Yeah, I really like this."
Wow.
They gave me a big piano, and I couldn't get off of it.
Wow.
I just always knew that was going to be
Wow.
what I was supposed to be. A musician. Now, I didn't realize, where it would take me.
Mm-hmm.
I knew at that age, this is you, Michele.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I love my kids. They are, and not my personal children, they are too, but children of the gospel, they are an inspiration. Last night, we had one of the most dynamic rehearsals that I've had with them in I mean, a long time. We usually have good rehearsals, but this was something else. There was something just so
Mm.
special about it, to the point where I woke up in the middle of the night and woke up this morning in this space of joy, like
Mm.
this place of gratitude, because I said, thank you, God, that you have allowed me to
Mm-hmm.
be a vessel of impact to
Mm-hmm.
these young people, but even more, that what was poured into them now is impacting me.
Wow.
The light that you are pouring through me into them is now coming back. It's reciprocal. I
Yes.
can't explain it any other way than it's a beautiful thing as an educator when you can see that sometimes the work that you've done is it's not immediate.
Mm.
It's not an immediate result.
Mm.
It might be years down the road, but this was like God's, it was a special blessing for me. Like, Michelle, I still got you.
Yeah.
I still got you.
Can I tell you what you made me think of just then? Oh, that's so beautiful. I felt it while you were talking, because what I believe happens is when, even when it's a collective like that, like I'm sure your rehearsal was, it sounds like it was with the whole choir, the children's choir. And so when it, even when it's a collective, when there is an exchange of passion, right? When there's an all inness on both ends, there is a connection that happens that it's, I'm going to say it like this because it's the only way I can think of it. It's communication,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
this communication, and the root of communication is communing, right? So
Yeah.
there's literally this communing with each other, like you said. It's like this reciprocity where there's this exchange of language with and energy
Yes.
without there having to be words necessarily or verbal communication. And I think we can experience that. You experienced it last night, and you're kind of hung over with it today, right?
Yeah.
But I think when we have an all inness and a passion about what we're doing, when we get to exercise that for other people who receive it wholeheartedly, or who we're in connection with them and they're giving us back the same in their way, there's a communing that happens, a
Yeah.
community. Yeah.
That is what I think I love so much about being a performer.
Mm-hmm.
Being an artist. The
Mm-hmm.
reality is that when I stand on stage, and even if I'm conducting, if I'm singing an aria, the idea is the audience and I have to share. We have to break bread together.
Mm-hmm.
Have to have a conversation without words. I'm
Mm-hmm.
singing words, but it's so spiritual.
Yes.
Really is spiritual. And I think a lot of people think it's easy when we sing gospel, because of the words that you're singing. But when you have young people,
Mm-hmm.
some of them really have not walked certain experiences as yet.
Yeah.
They have to be able to communicate a message that is so strong, like that, like a life trial, into
Mm-hmm.
the life of somebody who has, to make them say, I understand you. You
Yeah.
and I are on the same page. And
Yeah.
that's the beauty of what we do. We've got to be in that space uh, immediately, all the time, all
Yeah.
connected all the time.
Yeah, that is so good. I love that. And so you've had some folks, as we've been talking, Michele, who have put in here what they are gifted to do.
All right.
Um, Taj loves dancing and cooking, and she needs a vocal coach for her daughter. I can make that connection. We'll talk and see. Yes, yes. So we're making a connection. Robin loves to cook and just be with old people, to talk with them. Isn't that so needed, that someone would love to do that? Loving to paint, Christian says. And then so many folks. Ooh, Layla says she loves, there are a couple of folks up here, Lala, I believe, who loves this diva that's on. I'm bringing you the best, girl. I'm committed. Yes. And I have to say, I love singing too, as well. And so I so relate to what you're talking about, when there's this connection with your audience and even your fellow musicians around.
Oh, yeah.
It's just this amazing connection. Could you talk about, because I think it's related to what we're talking about right now, could you speak to the importance of the arts both for children, and I'm going to say because you work with the children of the gospel, but I want adults to understand the importance of the arts for them as well, because sometimes we consider it a luxury, right? We consider it's our date night, maybe to go out and enjoy some music, or it has to be a special occasion, or sometimes some of us don't even engage because we just feel like we don't, have the time or the resources or those things. And we limit ourselves perhaps to just the radio, or but could you give us some indication as to why we should pursue a love of and an experience with the arts?
I think people do that every day. As you were speaking, I was just thinking, even to the most basic level of people listening to music inside their car,
Oh,
or
that's good.
there's a reason that we gravitate toward music. I'm going to stay with music for a minute and then expand on into the arts, the broader category.
Okay.
So there's a reason that we gravitate to it, or we go to our favorite concerts. The vibrations that we don't even think about that's happening in our body. We are releasing all kinds of endorphins, and things are shifting because of these musical entities and vibrations that we are feeling, and it's transferring into joy. Peace, into a level of comfort. It's like eating some really, really good macaroni and cheese and burnt around the edges. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You lay up in your bed and you can just and eat and enjoy. And that's what music does to us. It's not by happenstance that people have written all of these articles about when a woman is pregnant and what kind of music should she listen to, because vibrations are important. That's why people meditate. We're trying to come back into our center. We're trying to be balanced more. We're trying to be at peace. And music and the appreciation of dance, photography, sculpting, anything that relaxes mind, body, spirit, what I think we are naturally trying to always go back to. Before we came to this place called Earth, that we were in the entity of peace, relaxation, love, light, all of that. And then we are trying to find that same thing that we were once connected to, and while we're here, I call it God, and that's my connection to that ultimate source of what music does for me.
Yes. Let me tell you. So thank you for preaching that, because I need to pass a plate, and everybody up here, you got some fans up here who are loving you, who have said some wonderful things about you. But I want to amen what you said, because having a love of my own for music, and whether I am in a theater, or whether I am in a concert hall, or whether I am in my room, music transforms the environment and the atmosphere if we allow it to. If we give in to the vibes and the energy of it, it does. And I have said this, there's a Netflix special that's coming out in this new year that I'm on, and I've said it there, and I'm just anticipating some flack for it, but I don't care, because I mean it. I believe that not all music is gospel music, but I believe that all good music is God music.
Yeah,
I believe that.
I am wholeheartedly with you. Listen, I cannot limit God to my understanding. That who am I?
You about to get in trouble with me, Michele.
I'm in trouble together, sis. I don't know how to put God, this awesome entity, into a box.
Yeah.
So, and what you just said, I am wholeheartedly in agreement with that. God has given us all various gifts, and everybody wasn't designed to sing gospel and that be their calling. We've
Yeah.
got these dynamic artists like Leontine Price, who's my mentor. I love classical,
Yeah.
anointed to do what she was called to do. Patti
Yeah.
LaBelle, Fantasia. Or,
Yes.
I mean, we could just keep going on. And even
Go.
some of these rappers who are out here, even in their interesting, grotesque language, they have been called. We
Yes.
might not understand it, and something that's not for us.
Yep.
Let the creator handle.
Let me tell you who is anointed to be my evangelist for the decade. It has been India Ari. She is my yes, and Layla Hathaway. Between the two of them, they can preach me under a chair.
Layla, anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime for me too.
Yeah.
Amen, sis. Amen.
Yeah. Absolutely. So thank you for that. I think what we have done our very best to converse with you all, to commune with you all and communicate to you is give in to to the moment that you have to experience what I believe is your own creativity when you experience others' creativity, because what you're basically doing is finding kinship with someone else. It may not be your gifting when you go to hear Michele and the Children of the Gospel perform, but I believe we see ourselves, we feel a communion with them that, like you said, Michele, we find our center when we get to experience that. So, I would encourage us not to limit ourselves to our car radios, that we do get out and support Washington Performing Arts and support Children of the Gospel. And I'll ask you in what things are coming up in just a moment, Michele, but I want to acknowledge that you are a performer, that you are a mom, that you are the artistic director of Children of the Gospel, that you're probably doing your own projects. And so with all of those things that are happening, how do you, and I use this word with quotes around it, but how do you balance it all? How do you get it all done? For those of us who are wearing so many hats and wondering, with a little bit of overwhelm, how to do it all.
Yeah, I don't normally make resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
Because I firmly believe that whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing, the turn of the clock is not magic. Like, started, it should have already happened. But I will say that I have promised God that I would rest more. That's very difficult. When he's given you, in the use in general, levels of responsibility. But I do know, because I am learning and I have learned the hard way, that when I don't allow myself to rest, I'm at such imbalance. And I have to learn how to be a little bit more selfish.
Oh, that's so
that
good.
Selfishness is okay. Because I cannot possibly be a good mother, a good partner, a good friend, a good musician, artist, all of the other titles that I have on me. I can't do it unless I am operating at 100. And part of that is decompression and learning how to be more organized. I tell you, I have learned, people will tell you who know me, I was horrible at organization. What? No, it's not. But but I really had, and it took a good friend of mine who said, "I want you to know that what you do does affect everybody else."
Yeah.
And it really does. So I have had to force myself about, if I say that a rehearsal is at 7, I'm there beforehand, because to be early is to be on time. Little things, or today belongs to Children of the Gospel Day. Tomorrow is all about Fowlin Music Enterprises. Just organizing my life. And as God gives me another level of responsibility, I've got to do it all over again. Figure out, okay, now how am I going to balance it with this thing in here? You know what I mean?
Yes, can I interject? You are all in our lane and all in our teacups. I really appreciate what you're sharing. And I've asked you all in the chat, how do you all balance it all while we are having this conversation? And it just amazes me, Michele, because no matter who I'm talking to these days in this season right now, to ask someone, how do we get it all done? How do we get it all done? All I'm hearing, which lets me know that we're all in the same season and the same space, and it's the right timing for it, is rest.
Yeah.
It's Selah. It's
Yes.
it's slowing down in order to regroup, to refresh, to revive ourselves, to reflect. All of those things that you said. So many folks have said, you know, some folks are saying it here, sacred self-care, selfishness is okay. You know, they tell you on the airplanes to put your mask on before you put anyone else's on, because you really are no good to anybody else. And we have had this, I entitled this Black Girl Magic in the Arts, but we have had this, especially as Black women, this mentality that we have to be super women in order to get it all done. And where, you know, that causes health issues, it causes mental health issues, it causes a whole bunch of stuff that we don't want, relationship issues that we don't want to acknowledge. And I believe we're right back in this season right now. The pendulum has swung back. We've got to take care of ourselves. Yeah. So thank you so much. And I agree with you, Monique. Mental health days are so needed. We need to take them. Your sick leave, you don't need to leave any vacation days on the table. None of that stuff.
I crack up when people tell me, you know, I've got 260 something. What do you have all those days for? No, I've got probably 2 days left. And, you know, if I have to go where you've got to take my pay, then by all means take my pay, because I know when it is time for me to shut it down. And you're right. You said something about us women, we, especially Black women, we do consider ourselves to be super women, you know, and by default too, society has kind of placed us in these roles, and then we've embraced it all the more, and when we've lost sight of ourselves. It is hard too when we're talking about being an artist, you know, because this isn't the kind of stability that keeps coming in on a regular basis.
Right.
You've got to make things happen. And even more so that when you are a sister girl, that you're making things happen isn't always going to be as easy. And especially in some of these genres of the arts that we find ourselves into, when you want greatness, great men reached and kept, my dad used to tell me about Longfellow, were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, toiled upwards through the night. That rings through my head all the time. Like, you still got to work, and then you got to rest. The creator rested.
Yes.
So who am I?
It's a cycle. It's a cycle. Everything works. I believe God created seasons and cycles, and that's the order of things. That's how we are supposed to function. God literally designed the world, the universes, so that we could see a model of how we could organize and create our lives. And so we have the ability, we do, whether with society, and I totally agree with you, society has placed these expectations and imposed upon us, and then we get to choose what we settle for, what we accept, and what we give back and say, this is not mine. You gave it to me, but it's not mine. I don't receive it. I receive rest. I receive the cycle of knowing that, yes, there is a time to grind, but if I don't ever stop the grind and slow down and get some rest, I'll never be any good to anybody.
Learning how to say no. And I want to clarify something, because I have some white sister friends, counterparts who are there too. Women of all colors, races, we all experience it. There is another level to the African American Black diaspora women's plight that others will not feel, they will not ever go through, they won't understand. But for the big general category, I'm with you. We are in a different space and we have to learn how to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, so good. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I really honestly could go a whole nother half an hour talking to you.
I could be right here with you.
This has been so fruitful and so rich. I really, I feel the communion. And so I've really communed with you. I appreciate your time. I want you to share with us two things before I ask you to share what's happening with maybe you professionally and personally and children of the gospel as we are moving from, as women, you know, we're specifically for women, but we invite everybody to come and join us in these sneak peek conversations. So as we have moved from 2019 and we are now firmly placed in 2020 in a brand new decade, a new month, a new year, what would your greatest bit of advice be if you had to give us your best piece of wisdom?
Pursue your passion. It's interesting you said that because I did a Facebook Live video before we went into the new year. And though that was my words to my Facebook family. Do your passion. Don't allow yourself to wait for the clock to turn to get rid of toxicity, for you to start on your new you. You know, because we're not promised another moment. God gave us this new day.
Yes.
So in this new day, not just in the year, I believe about planning ahead and having goals and objectives to meet that, but we also need to do it for the in the moment time, this day. And so that would be my thing, because oftentimes I run into my girlfriends who they're so gifted. People talked about cooking. And I have a girlfriend of mine who is amazing with interior design, and all of these sisters are not doing any of that. But it's like you've got to risk. There is such beauty in taking a risk and being comfortable with sometimes the level of discomfort that comes with it. But when you pursue your passion, the provisions and everything else comes right along with it. But that's got to be the priority.
Oh, that is so good. And I promise y'all, she and I have not talked about this in advance, but we are literally on the same page. Michele, we just, as you heard at the top of this, we just released a book called Purpose Pushers. And 20 amazing women partnered with me to tell their purpose stories. So where they are, we've broken them down into 4 phases of purpose. And we have likened it and made it analogous to the phases of metamorphosis of a butterfly. And so how, you know, you start at that infancy stage where you don't know your purpose, but you're hopeful. And then you may have some inkling about your purpose, but you're in the discovery phase of learning about it and learning what it looks like and feels like on you. And then you know what it is, but then there's that changing and transitioning where you're, you know, working on it and working in it, but you still got to do what you got to do. And so it's a little messy and tight in the cocoon. And then where you're fully walking in it, and then it hasn't been easy, even though you're walking in it, and you have lessons to share. And so that book is out. And in addition to that, we had our book launch this past Saturday, and this coming Sunday, we are literally hosting a Now What workshop where, you know, either you know where you are in your purpose or you're trying to discover it, and I can help you with the now what steps. And so I just wanted to share that, how timely and appropriate your gifting was for us, your nugget was for 2020, because I don't believe we can afford, no matter how young we are, I don't believe we can afford, we don't have time to waste. We have to pursue our passions while we have breath in our body and not waste any heartbeat, as my mentor would say. Okay, so please tell us, so you can go eat your dinner or rest, whatever, because you told us to rest. So So please tell us what's happening with you, what's happening with Children of the Gospel. I did make sure that I put in the chat the link to Children of the Gospel. So if you could tell me whatever you want us to know, and if you say a link, I'll make sure I put it in there for us.
Okay, so let's start with that wonderful link of the Washington Performing Arts entire thing .org.
Got it.
We are in the process right now of getting ready to do an open rehearsal next week, Monday, over at Shiloh Baptist Church.
Wow.
So if you have or you know of young people who are gifted, they love to sing, and they just need the next steps into encouraging their gift and growing their gift, then please bring them on out 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Shiloh Baptist Church, Washington, D.C. Is where we will be rehearsing next week, Monday. Then we'll have auditions for the second half of our season. We're getting ready to do a performance on January 19th at the National Cathedral, on the 26th at the Kennedy Center, in February with Matthew Whitaker, a most talented 19-year-old blind organist. This brother is bad. He is bad, bad, bad to the bone. So you will have to check him out. Then we're doing a joint project with the Kingdom Choir, who sung at the Royal Wedding, and June Strathmore and myself, Possible Germany in September, and a festival in South Carolina. And it just stuff. I'm grateful, and I'm humbled by every opportunity. I ask God to enlarge the territory. You got to be careful what you ask God for. But he won't give it unless he knows you're ready.
And you know what I've learned about that? Thank you for sharing all of those. And I've put some links in there. I'm sure that the majority of what you shared, if you all go to WashingtonPerformingArts.org, you can find a lot of it there. But follow Michele. She's on Facebook. She's on social media. Make sure that you follow her so that you can stay abreast of things that are happening. But I love what you said, because when we ask God for, for patience, then he makes us wait, so that we can develop that muscle. We ask him for wisdom, and then we get challenged with some stuff that we need to exercise wisdom. So if we ask him for more opportunity, we're going to be challenged with how to move and do it all and how to balance it all. And so I love that that God has gifted you with the many ways to articulate, yes, I'm doing these wonderful things, but I recognize that God has given me the opportunity to do them. And so there's this awesome greatness and light that you shine, while at the same time it emanates from you a beautiful, brilliant humility. And so I really appreciate you for that.
I thank God for that. I thank God for that. And I will just say one more thing about the opportunity. Make sure it's ordained. Because opportunities will come. I mean, and you can't, I've gotten caught up in the yes for this, yes for that, yes for that. And that's a burnout situation. And everything was not designed for me to be in that space. And so I had to really learn, no is a very valuable word.
Powerful. And it's a sentence.
No. Yes. And it speaks volumes any way you put it. But it was a rough lesson. That was definitely a rough lesson to learn. But I'm glad that I have learned that, and I don't have a problem using it now.
Yeah, that is so good. So pray for the ordained opportunities to come your way, that the ones that are meant for you. I love that. Thank you so much for this time. I feel like I've gained a sister. You are a beautiful soul. Thank you so much for this time. I look forward to being able to just hit you up and say, oh, I'm coming to this. I'm really coming. And I hope, yeah, I hope to be able to see you there sometime this year in the 2020 schedule. You all go support this beautiful woman and the children of the gospel performing arts. Bring your children to the audition next Monday. Be a part of this, this amazing opportunity to witness and then commune with, right? So if you want your children to experience it, if you want to come and just be a witness to it in the audience, go to WashingtonPerformingArts.org. Thank you so much for your time. And we will see you all next Tuesday here at 8 o'clock for another sneak peek into a real conversation with real women. Thank you again, Michele.
Thank you, Doc. Appreciate you, sis.
You as well. Bye-bye.